by night away from here. What's up, everyone? Today we have a possible unknown whiskey brand to the average drinker called Found North. Now at Found North, their mindset is to highlight Canadian distillate, hence the Rush t-shirt, by creating unique and complex whiskeys that cater to the American whiskey drinker's palate and bottled with the bourbon drinker's mindset. Now I know Canadian whiskey doesn't really sound exciting to a lot of people, but from what I've tasted so far, you're gonna want to hear about this here on The Mash and Drum. What's up, folks? I'm Jason C. from The Mash and Drum, and today we are talking Found North, a relatively new independent bottler and blender of Canadian whiskey, founded by friends Nick and Zach. Last year, they launched their Batch 1 Cask Strength 16-year-old Canadian Rye Whiskey and Batch 2 Cask Strength 16-year-old Canadian Whiskey containing an unusually high percentage of corn. Now, for what it's worth, both received top honors, double gold at the 2021 San Francisco World Spirits Competition. Today, we are reviewing their new Batch 3 and Batch 4 releases. Take a look. So Found North believes modern American whiskeys fall within too narrow a flavor profile. That led them to search for more flavors up north, looking for more mature rye aged in cold climate, seeking out spice, fruit, and age without over-oaked bitterness. So instead of just finding ready-to-bottle single barrels, they instead found a vast array of casks that presented them with a rare opportunity to create distinct and different whiskeys through the magic of blending. Now, I said at the beginning of the year that this is where whiskey is going, new brands entering the market with unique blends, which I have no problem with as long as you're transparent. Luckily, Found North is. So today we're gonna try Batch 3 and 4. Now first, we're gonna try Batch 3. This is a 5 whiskey blend built around an 18-year-old rye, aged in X tequila barrels, then blending in an additional 18-year rye, aged in X Speyside Scotch casks, and a 21-year-old corn whiskey aged in used American oak. Lastly, they added a 17-year rye and a 25-year-old corn whiskey, both aged in Hungarian oak. All right, got all that? So 2,792 bottles were made of this one, 110.2 proof. The rye blend works out to a 64% rye, 32% corn, 4% malted and barley mash bill, non-chill filtered. Price for this one, 135 bucks, not bad. All right, let's get on the nose here, guys. Man, there's a lot of just berry. Just pick your berry. Blueberry, blackberry, maybe a little hint of cherry too. Really, really berry forward. I dig that. You don't always normally get that on a rye, but in here with that crazy blend, there's a lot of berry going on. There's obviously a good hint of citrus here with that rye spice. Definitely some orange peel. I also get a really nice punch of lemon, but not lemon zest, more of like a dessert lemon, like a lemon meringue or a lemon bar, something like that. Man, I get pastry crust on here. But man, the first note you get is really all those berries. It's crazy. So, all right, excited to try this one. Here we go. You know, as sweet as that is on the nose, that is all rye on the palate, man. Spice upon spice upon spice. The sweet is there, but man, you get punched with so much like baking spices, black pepper. Give me another sip of that one. All right, now we're settling in here. Ton of apple, ton of cinnamon. More of that citrus. That lemon is really reigning true also on the palate as well. Get that nice buttery texture to it. I mean, it's impressive. This is a really nice whiskey. Really good viscous palate as well. Kind of clings to the right on the sides of your palate there. But man, the finish on this is all spice and rye and all that goodness. This is what I would want in a rye, because not only do you get the sweet and the spice, but they're also in balance. One doesn't overpower the other, which I could definitely appreciate. Last sip, and then we'll go to batch 4. You know, the more you drink it, I think the more sweet it becomes. It gets a little bit easier on the palate, but the thing that holds true is all the citrus, the little hint of berry, the apple cinnamon, and then just black pepper spice on the back end. It has kind of a sneaky finish, so you know, once you get to about your 3rd or 4th sip, the first sip you're gonna feel all that spice, but then you get to about like the 3rd or 4th sip, it's like, oh, this is getting nice and easy, really good drinker. It's staying kind of creamy. And then I was like wondering, okay, well, the finish is starting to go away, but it doesn't. You think it's going away, and then it kind of comes back and attacks you a little bit. Man, that's pretty impressive for a blended, you know, whiskey there. I mean, you're looking at Canadian whiskeys only. You know, again, a lot of people have their, you know, their misconceptions or their biases against Canadian whiskeys, but this is a really, really nice blend. So, all right, now we're gonna shift gears here, and we're gonna go to batch 4. All right, so batch 4, which is noticeably darker than batch 3, there's a reason why. So batch 4 is built around a 21-year corn whiskey, blended with another 25-year corn whiskey aged in Hungarian oak. Then they balanced that with a combination of 2 different styles of rye, both aged for 18 years. Now, the first was aged in ex-Speyside Scotch casks, and the second was aged in Rechar American oak. So for this one, 2,746 bottles, 124.8 proof, that's cask strength. Mash bill works out to 80% corn, 19% rye, 1% malted barley. Again, we're looking at non-chill filtration, and price for this one, 145 bucks. All right, here we go. Let's dive into this one now. Oh yeah, this is where I want to be right here, guys. The Butter Pecan is strong with this one. You know, it reminds me a little bit of some of those old Carter American whiskey batches. It's just so buttery and rich on the nose here. There's definitely like a pancake syrup thing going on here. Very, very sweet. Again, that high corn mash bill. Man, this is like Mrs. Butterworth's in a glass. But yeah, I mean, butterscotch, vanilla. Again, you're going with that super high corn mash bill, which, you know, you're gonna get with that corn whiskey. But there's a nice balance of oak here. Maybe the slightest hint of chocolate as well. It's very sweet. It almost comes off a little bit like a rum on the nose. So let's go for a sip. I don't know which one I like more. This is, man, this gives you just a lot of just butterscotch, creme brulee, vanilla icing, little bit of spice, good amount of oak too to kind of balance out the sweetness, which that's what makes the old Carter so good in my opinion. The old Carter American whiskeys, you know, the Carters blend some really great high corn whiskeys with the, you know, some light whiskeys with some other casks to really kind of find that balance. And I think that's what this one is kind of doing here. I'm not going to say it's as good as an old Carter yet, but pretty impressive so far. So second sip, more of the red fruits coming out and more of the oak. So while the first sip got really sweet, got a lot of butterscotch, a lot of, you know, powdered sugar, vanilla. Now the oak and the red fruits are starting to come in and kind of show a little bit of that age. That's nice. That's right. I think I have a old Carter versus Found North, you know, battle about to happen, and maybe a double base. But man, it's good. It's very complex, very rich on the palate. Little hint of chocolate, and again, you get a nice little warming finish on the back end of that. Which, you know, there are some high age rye in here as well. So it is. It's a high corn. You're looking at some high age corn whiskeys in there, but the rye The ryes that are blended in there really help it out as far as the balance goes. It's not just sweet, you get spice, you get oak, I think from the age of these casks. You get a little bit of the balance, some berry notes. Again, I go with that butterscotch, some oak. Both of these, if I could have one word that would describe both of these, it's balance. All right, let's see if I could do a combo final breakdown on both of these. All right, so final breakdown here. The cask strength rye whiskey, 135. The cask strength whiskey is 145. Secondary for these, I haven't seen these on secondary at all. When it comes to availability isn't great on these. You know, the bottles are obviously pretty limited, but if you're interested in these, you can get them on the Found North website, which is where I got them. So you could always check it out there to see if they have more in stock, which I think they do. All right, so value here. I'm gonna say value's high. I mean, listen, you wanna make the argument that it's Canadian whiskey? That's fine. But no matter what you think about Canadian whiskey, 18 to 25 year whiskey in both of these for less than $150. I don't care what the whiskey is, that's a damn good value in today's market, considering everything with a high age statement is going at least 200 to 500 bucks in today's market. Most I paid for these is retail. I mean, they're really good, but I probably wouldn't pay more than the sticker price. Is this a recommend? I'm gonna say yes on both. I mean, if you're a rye drinker, this rye is really impressive, I think, especially for the price and the ages that you're getting. It's unique, it's a great blend, it's got beautiful balance, it's not overly sweet, it's not overly spicy, but you get the best of both worlds in both. Now, I think the cask strength whiskey is where this one is kind of a little bit more magical to me. Like, I love rye whiskey, but obviously I lean a little bit more towards, you know, more of a corn mash bill. And this, with the blended whiskeys that's in here, with the different finishes and the flavors in here with the balance, this one probably really impressed me most. For 145 bucks with that type of age in the bottle, man, all day long. I think both of them are great. I don't think you could go wrong either way if you're a rye drinker or just a whiskey drinker. They're both pretty fantastic, and kudos to Found North for being so transparent as to what's in the bottle. All right, guys, well, hope you enjoyed the review for Found North as we took a look at two of their great offerings. We have their rye whiskey and their regular whiskey. Both are actually pretty fantastic. So if you enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button below. Please hit the like button. If you haven't yet, find me on Instagram, find me on Twitter. Let me know if you guys have heard about this brand or if you've tasted this brand. Would love to know what you think. I'm actually gonna do a little Canadian blend. And I'm gonna give a big cheers to the man himself, Mr. Neil Peart, my favorite drummer of all time, plays for the greatest band of all time, Rush. Cheers, guys. I'll see you next time on The Mash and Drum. Let's see how this goes. If anything, you could buy both of them and just blend these because they make a fantastic whiskey. Cheers, guys.